Hey everyone, and welcome back to RacersEdge. As it is the last Fast and Furious movie that's solely focused on car culture and street racing, Tokyo Drift is considered one of the best movies of the franchise by the global society of car geeks. But seriously, the movie brought a new and refreshing outlook on the Japanese street racing and drift culture, and it's probably the single best movie about drifting you can watch. This time, we'll dive into the automotive cast of the Tokyo Drift film to see exactly what it was that made all of the magic come together and the real price of the cars. Today we're going to be talking about the price of every car from Tokyo Drift. Ever wonder how much cash they threw on all these sweet toys and Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift? How much would it cost to you to own them? Well, we're going to tell you. Make sure you stay until number 1 as you don't want to miss the most interesting information ever. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and also smash that like button if you have enjoyed the video so far. Number 10. Takahashi's Nissan FAIRLADY Z33, $5,000 to $6,000. Before Tokyo Drift came out, the 350Z was awesome, but today it's nothing short of an icon. However, the car you see driven by the movie's main antagonist, Takashi, Brian T, is nowhere near stock. It features a body rework by a renowned Japanese tuner shop, Viroside, which includes custom side skirts, fenders, both bumpers, and of course, the massive rear wing. And this one may very well be as competent as it's shown in the movie, considering how well made and balanced 350Zs are for drifting. More so considering it's fitted with a 3.5-liter V6 churning out 460 horsepower, which is 200 more than it had when it came from the Nissan factory. Those extra ponies translate to a sub-5-second 60 mph dash and a top speed of over 155 mph. The movie car went for sale for around $130,000 a few years ago. Luckily for you, a base model 350Z isn't a particularly expensive car at around $5,000 to $6,000, and how you modify it from there is up to you. Number 9. Reiko's Volkswagen Golf R32, $8,000 to $15,000. The R32 enjoyed a brief cameo appearance in Tokyo Drift as the designated car for Reiko, Keiko Kitagawa, a secondary female character who helped Sean rebuild his car. Volkswagen apparently offered 4 of these to be featured in the movie, 2 of which were converted to rear drive for drifting scenes. We never got to see much of the cars, but we do know that the R32 packs a decent 3.2-liter VR6 producing 250 horsepower, which is more than enough to make it an exciting little drift car. What makes this VW special is it's got doors that go up like a Lamborghini and has been converted to rear-wheel drive, so it could drift for that awful scene. These cars usually sell for between $8,000 and $15,000 with the base trim, but adding Lambo doors will set you back a few grand. Number 8. Nila's Mazda RX-8, $17,000. Only 1.3-liter in the engine and 228 horsepower to give, that's what you call generosity. It will deal 60 in under just 6 seconds, and it all comes courtesy of the Wanko rotary engine, like the one used in its big brother RX-7, only smaller. Haters can call it disappointing and a girl car all they want, but the RX-8 is actually a beautiful and well-rounded entry-level sports car, and with the right tweaks, it can really do wonders in a drift race. We see a bright blue tuned version driven by Nila, Nathalie Keeley, complete with a badass wheel side body kit and a massive carbon fiber spoiler in the back. The cost of the vehicle is about $17,000. Number 7. Sean's Nissan SILVIA S15 SPEC-R, $10,000 to $20,000. The sport car met and ultimately end in Sean's first drift race against Takashi. There's a reason Twinkin calls it the Mona Lisa, as the already iconic SILVIA was tuned to whole new levels of badass in the movie. Even without any modifications, the SILVIA is fully ready for drifting, though this one features a 2.6-liter, 280 horsepower RB26 DATT engine straight out of the SKYLINE GTR. An immensely tuner-friendly engine that can be tweaked to produce ridiculous horsepower numbers. In Japan, the S15 usually sells somewhere in the range of $10,000 to $20,000. But if you're living in the US, you're not really allowed to have one. That's right, this car violates the 25-year import rule for cars in the US, which states that you can't buy a car that wasn't originally sold in the US and isn't over 25 years old. Number 6. Han's 1997 Mazda RX-7, $20,000. Han is undoubtedly one of the most badass characters in Tokyo Drift, so it's only right that he should be ripping around Tokyo in a stylish ride like a 1997 Mazda RX. This car was unique in that it wasn't just some tarted up stock car with a body kit like most movie cars. This was an authentic Veil's-Light Fortune RX-7, rocking a 17,000 wide body kit from Veil's side that adds a whole foot of width to the car, an HKS TO4Z turbo kit, HKS intercooler, and Apexy engine management, pushing this triangle-powered beast up to between 300 and 400 horsepower. It also had Veil's side exhaust and wheels, and numerous interior and suspension upgrades. A normal used 1997 RX-7 usually costs somewhere in the neighborhood of $20,000. Craig Lieberman estimates modifying an FD to this level would cost you another $60,000. So, driving the Drift King's FD will cost you at least $80,000. Number 5. Sean's 2006 Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9, $20,000 to $25,000. This bright red Evo was used by Sean as he practiced to master drifting guided by Han. However, the car you see was specially modified for the movie and transformed from an AWD to rear-wheel drive for optimal drifts. That's not only the only change though, as the Evo also received a significant power boost to its 2-liter MIVEC engine, now producing a decent 286 horsepower. The Evo's top speed remains electronically limited to the factory 155 miles per hour, though it's extremely quick and agile, being able to launch to 60 in under 5 seconds. The 2006 model of the Lancer Evo 9 typically sells on the second-hand market for between $20,000 and $25,000, obviously without all those 6 mods they added on for the film. Seeing as how lightly modified the actual movie car was though, it might not be too expensive to replicate it. Number 4. Sean's 1971 Chevrolet Monte CARLO, $15,000 to $25,000. This car has a 632-cylinder big block under the hood, linked up to a T10 4-speed transmission. It's also got a fiberglass cowl hood and some 615-inch wheels to roll on. These cars, without all the awesome mods you see in the movie, usually go for between $15,000 and $25,000 on the second-hand market. Not bad for that kind of style. Buy 9 of them for Tokyo Drift? Yeah, the producers shelled out near $115,000 in Monte Carlos. Number 3. Sean's 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback, $40,000. Remember that car that Sean Boswell uses to race Takashi down the mountain? That badass macho machine was a 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback. This thing is set up in that classic 2-door fastback sports roof style, with those beautiful white racing stripes that were simply dripping with style. And under the hood, this car's got some sweet specs as well. They transplanted a 2.6-liter twin-turbo Nissan SKYLINE GTR engine into this tank that can spew out 375 ponies. A V8-powered stunt car was sold for $180,000. If you want to own one yourself, bring about $40,000 or well into the 6 figures for pristine examples. Number 2. Dom's Plymouth Roadrunner, $40,000. American Muscle Car, a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner that Dom won from Han a few years back. This classic vehicle is draped in a gray paint job and some black as night wheels. You may recognize this model because it also appears in several other Fast and Furious movies. Unfortunately, most of them were destroyed in the making, but not the one from Tokyo Drift. That one survived and is still kicking to this day. It's even sold on Barrett Jackson for $187,000. Number 1. Nissan Skyline GTR R33, $50,000. We see this Skyline make a brief but memorable appearance, driven by 2 girls who end up giving Han their numbers after what has to be one of the cinema's coolest pickup techniques. It's the one where Han drifts around the girl's car and then extends his hand out of the window to pick up their phone numbers as he drives off. As for the car itself, it's a competent drifter with 280 horsepower under the hood, courtesy of a 2.6-liter inline-6, the same one employed in the SILVIA S15 SPEC-R. Out of the factory, these come electronically limited to 155 miles per hour, but their engine allows for ridiculous power tweaks. In the States, you can get an R33 GTR if you've got around $50,000 in your pocket. Thanks for watching. Waiting for your likes and comments. Let me know your opinion. And make sure to subscribe to my RacersEdge channel. While you are here, go ahead and click on one of these two videos on your screen. See you there.